What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Simulation for the Nation, and welcome back to the West Coast. And today, as you can see, we are finally operational on our straw facility. We have just put a couple of bales through, so the plant is really just up and going now. As you can see there, we have one of our pallets nearly ready to go. So we're just going to continue, make sure we get everything up and going. Put you there. We're going to get another bale of straw, but we are cooking on gas at the moment. Everything is set up now. We have to wait to get an order of molasses in, but that has arrived. So yeah, now it's nice to be up and going finally. We've got another lovely day here in the middle of spring, so we are currently pushing on ahead. We've just about finished our drilling. I mean, all being said at the moment now, we've got probably in the region of about 100 acres left. In the grand scheme, really is not a lot left at all, so it's going to be good to get all that done. We have got one of my drivers just finishing up some spring wheat this morning, and then we'll probably, the last couple of fields we might put into some beans actually, so we'll be finishing those off. Other than that, everything is going very well. It's nice growing conditions at the moment, not too cold, plenty of rain recently, but not enough to stop us from getting in with the drills, so that's good news. And which means we're in a great place to give this new system of ours a try. As you can see here, we've got everything set up and working properly, which is always nice. Move out the way. Our little Kramer telehandler here is working flawlessly, and we are producing pallets. So right now we've got a load of our pallets here waiting to go. We're going to put them straight onto the trailer behind us once we've got the molasses taken off of there, but for now we may also just store them in one of these bins on the side. But yeah, all being well, everything is going swimmingly, and we're very happy with how we're getting along here. So we're going to get another bale of straw in now. So these are going to be shipped off down to our local seed distribution, really, where they'll be sold from there. It's a bit of a trek, but we'll just have to take it down. It was lucky that we had somewhere that we could actually sell these to nearby, to be honest. It's quite a relief. Whilst we're here, this is our new, this is our second-hand bale chaser. This is something I found at a farm sale, clearance sale, and got it very cheap. It needs a little bit of touch-up work. It's not in the best of shapes here, but it is, for what we're going to need it for, it's going to do it just fine. We can get 10 bales on here, so we'll be looking to clear a lot of land quite quickly with this. Not necessarily bring them straight into the yard here. Quite often we might just be stacking them up at our different farmyards, or even inside of a field, weather permitting, just to kind of clear the fields as quickly as we can. But it's nice to have something that can just help us a little bit easier. Means that we can clear the field with one tractor in that loader rather than having to bring in the tractor, a telehandler as well. So that's good. We'll get this bale put onto here. Just finding judging my distance here is a little bit difficult, but we are making pallets pretty quickly here at a nice rate. And then if I just leave this here for a second, come over to our machine. As you can see here, so the pellets are being ground up on the crone here, so this bale will come in. I can't jump over the power takeoff, so irresponsible. So the bale feeds in along the belt there and gets shredded by the rollers, which we'll see in a minute or two. Normally, like I say, you could drive this along a combine swath and pick it up straight through there, but in this particular case here we've added this contraption on just so it's a bit more automated. So the bale comes in, it is shredded, the straw goes up the pickup and gets transformed into these tiny little compressed pellets. Now if we come back around this side, those pellets are then fed into the hopper, as you'll see here in a moment or two. Jump on top of those? Yes, I can. So we have the pellets in the hopper, and then the hopper is filling up. Pellets come up the conveyor belt, and then start get bagged and processed from there. And then we're gradually making ourselves some pallets, which is great news. We have 2 on the belt already, so I'm going to continue here. And then soon I'm going to have to swap over into the put the pallet forks on the front so we can actually have those all moved out of the way. Right now we're going to get another bale of straw or 2. So I hope this finds you all very well. I hope you're enjoying whatever you are doing, and are staying safe whilst you're doing it. Great news that Seasons has come out into consoles. That's happy days for all you console players. That's the one thing when I was still on a console that I desperately wished we had, so it's great to see that that has actually been made possible. However they had to do it, I don't know, but it's great that Giants are willing and able to implement that, because it really does add a whole new platform of gameplay, really. Bring this down a bit. That's a bit too high. That's better. So we have some water up here in the Bowser. We are looking to get a stationary, like a standpipe put into here somewhere, so we don't have to keep ferrying water from one of the other farms. But we will look into that as and when. But for right now, we've just got to kind of deal with the water Bowser, which is not ideal, but you can't always get what you want. Let's just take that back, actually. So when you get into the river, then this is really quite a nice fluid system, really. I'm still figuring out the creases in my operation, but we're doing quite well at the moment. As you can see, we have 3 pallets there, and I think I'm going to have to just get some of those shifted very quickly. Hopefully this bale's going to move along in time for me to just squeeze this one onto the end. I might just do it this way. Yeah, we'll just budge that onto the end there. Lovely stuff. And now I'm just going to drop this down here. Go and pick up the pallet forks very quickly because we need to get these shifted. So when you're operating this facility, which I think when we get to harvest time, we're going to have to try and find somebody, a skilled operator who can come in and actually run this plant for me, because I'm going to have to be sat in the combine more than likely. You are kept pretty busy throughout, though. That's something that you do need to pay attention to. There's a lot of different factors here. And that guy's still sitting in my tractor cab. I need to get rid of him. Ooh, get up there. So loop around here. Alright, and then this, our first pallet off the ramp, is this going to come into this second bay. Put this down here. Excellent news. The old John Deere is firing away there, doing a great job. I'm desperately tempted to put that onto a plough, just to see how it runs. But it pairs along. I don't really think we could have got a bigger loader here either. I think this loader is perfect for what we need. Anything bigger would have been just a bit too big and uncomfortable to work with in here. A little bit numb perhaps. So we'll get this one cleared. That gives a little bit more space to work with. As long as I don't puncture the bags there, that'd be disastrous. And 3 is company. Perfect. So we're going to leave those 3 there for now. Out you come. Probably leave my pallet forks there, we don't need those, but what we do need to do is go and quickly pop some more straw into the feeder. So today the weather has really kind of come in a little bit. The mist still isn't clearing this morning. We're due for it to burn off around midday, I think, but we just can't quite get a head start. So right now the tractor and drill is kind of parked up because it's still a little bit too damp and sticky. But I'm not too concerned about that. We should be, once the weather does clear, we shouldn't take us too long to get going at all, really. Perfect. Oh, where am I going? Not concentrating. Let's see if we can do it this way, we'll just take that top one off. There we go, lovely. So whilst that's running through, we're just going to go and have a quick jump into the John Deere. We'll show you what the levels look like in the John Deere. So right now the crone here is using a combination of molasses and water to make the pellets. So we have to put both in before we start, which we have been doing. Right now you can see our molasses level is currently at 84%, so we've got plenty left in that in the tanks at the moment, and water the same, around 80%, so it's quite an efficient usage. I think this is now our 7th and 8th bale we've put through, so we have been we're doing pretty well on that front. So overall it should be quite a nice and easy operation. From an input cost standpoint as well, it's not too expensive. The pallets of molasses are quite cheap, particularly when you start to buy them in large numbers, which we are trying to do as much as possible here. So that's why we are making it as efficient and as cost effective for us as we can, really. Let's put that down. Perfect. So I am just going to let this run through. I'm going to go and empty the pallets of molasses off the back of the tractor and trailer there, because we're going to want to fill that trailer up with pallets of pellets. Bit of a tongue twister. And I'll come back to you very shortly. Alrighty then, guys. So I was halfway through clearing all of that, the pallets off the trailer and the pallets of pellets as well off the belt. And then I've got a phone call from one of my drivers today, and Jamie's not going to be able to come in today, so I have to go and I'm going to go and jump onto the drill for well, most of the day, I'd imagine. So we're going to go and drill some beans around the farm, but I'm just going to put a couple more bales into the machine here just to make sure I have a trailer load, so when I do come back up I've got enough to then justify a full trip down to the yard. So we're going to pop these straight onto the belt here. We'll get everything else tidied up into the shop here, and then we'll make our way down to the sheep farm, to River Rock, where we can get our pick up the tractor where it's been left, make sure we're all ready to go. And then we don't have too many acres of beans. I think I'm probably going to put in about 35-40 acres of beans in total. It shouldn't take too long, but it's just we need to really, I'd like to get them all finished today effectively. Don't want to be hanging on for too long, but we'll let this run through. Maybe just do this a little bit. Okay, so all in all, for a first time out, this has been very useful and productive. So you can see our cellophane wrapped pallets here, with pellets on the top there. Still not really clearing up that much. We are going to come into our John Deere here, and we're just going to start this up. We're going to back this trailer under the cover for now. This is going to be my taxi out of here tonight, or this morning, sorry. Leave that there. Perfect. Taking the dual wheels off the John Deere now, we're finally at the stage where the heavy cultivations are about finished, so we can now put this onto the, probably onto the fertilizer spinner actually, or maybe even the sprayer, or both. We can start to get some serious grassland work done. It's not going to be long before we have to go into our drilled land and put some pre-emergence down as well, which will allow us to actually, well, give the growing crops a big boost they need really. So let's see how this is doing here. Give this a little bit longer. As you can see, the pellets are coming out the coil at the top there. They go up the belt, and they actually get they get pressed in between those two drums, I do believe. Those two steel drums you can see. Everything seems to be finishing off nicely. As you can see there, the hopper slowly is being emptied as the belt fills up the pallet machine. The pallet machine works quite efficiently actually. It's really quite a fascinating machine to watch, almost quite hypnotic. Alright then, so I'm going to, we're now done 70 and 75% on our water and molasses. So that's going all very well. It appears the processing machine is about finished. So we'll just dial down the John Deere here. Perfect. As you can see there, we're just about finishing off. The last few bags are coming through. This machine will switch off automatically when it's done. I'm going to turn the lights off. Lovely stuff. We'll shut the door in here. Oh, quickly get on the right side of it. And we will get out of town. So I'm going to jump into the John Deere and I'll see you guys back over at the sheep farm. What's up guys, we're back. We're just going to hook the spreader straight on here just to save time, because I think I'm going to get one of the guys out in the next couple of mornings actually to start putting some nitrogen down. We've already got a lot of the grassland covered, but we will need to, oh, I'm about half a yard off there. We will need to get a lot more covered actually. We're going to be making quite a lot of hay this year. Perfect. And we'll just leave that to boot for now. Turn off my flashing lights. Okay, so as you can see, we left the Fendt parked up here overnight. She's in need of a wash, but it won't happen until we get this finished. That's as much as I know. Let's have a look, see how we're doing here. Okie dokie. So we are... Oh, we've got about 3/4 of a tank, which will be more than adequate for what I need. We're going to sow some beans this morning around the yard here. So, assuming I don't mark my own truck, which would be pretty disastrous. There we go. So we're just going to start with this little field here. Like I say, this is not very big. This is about maybe 10 acres, 15 acres at most. But it's something that we need to get drilled in. Before we go any further here, if I show you how far we've gone. Well, for types growth, perfect. So you can see over at Little Woolhope and around the village there, we've got most of our land drilled up. The only one we have left is 42, which is, I've decided I'm just going to leave, put into cover crop over the summer, I do believe. So we're going to plough that over, or finish ploughing it over, and then we will we'll put that into a crop. There's no real rush for that though at the moment, which is why it's kind of being done in dribs and drabs. But the plough is over there still. And then we've got everything else down the east side of the farm and down around Little Woolhope here has all been completed. It's all been drilled up. So that's great news, so I'm very happy with that. And then the last few days we came over to the west here, and just south of River Rock we've managed to get the large fields done now. We've got 62 left to do, which was in beans, and that's going to go into spring barley as well. And then we've got these two little fields here, which are going to be our new fields of beans. So we're going to get 86 started today, and then we'll probably kick into 87, and seeing how we're looking at that, we might get into 62, but that'll be something I'll be finishing up later on, I imagine. But it is nice just to be able to make some real good progress and have the end in sight. So let me get my GPS set up. And we are just gonna, let's go straighten ourselves up to get down that hedge line. Okay. And it's when you're on hills like this that we really need every last horsepower this Fendt has to offer. Bring up my Proceed mod. Everything's looking good. Perfect. Now that beep you can hear is just because we haven't put the drill down. So once it drills down, it kind of realizes it's happy and leaves us alone, really. Oh no, put my tram lines down already. That's better. Perfect. So we have a little bit to tidy up in that corner, but we'll catch that when we come around to doing the headlands. Shouldn't take us too long. So you can see, I don't know if any of you guys use Proceeds, but when you do, it's integrated with the GPS, so the computer knows two different things. It knows where we are in the field in relation to where we're putting our tram lines down, so it knows that we're doing that every 36 meters will be a tram line, so it knows which route we're on, so it can toggle on and off the seed coulters on the back of the drill, so we don't put seed down there, so there's no tram line. I'll show you that when it does appear on the display as well. On top of that as well, it will also allow us to shut off various sides of the drill to prevent overlapping, which can save us on some seed. Right now, as you can see, we're kind of struggling up this little bank here, but we're making it. We've got about 22% wheel slip, which is not ideal, but this girl's pulling us up there. And as you can see now on the mod, on the Proceed mod there, the two little red dashes indicate which coulters are going to be switched off when to allow us to have a tram line. So now when we come back down here, we're not drilling in those two tram lines, in those two, or those four coulters actually are turned off, which allows us to have, like I say, a nice accurate tram line, nice and straight because of the GPS as well, which is all very good. So far for the new first year with the Fendt, with the Vario on the front of this drill, it's performed very admirably, without any hesitation. It kind of purrs, even when we're going up a hill like this where it's kind of been tasked a little bit, it still purrs along. It's nice and efficient when it's working as well. We find that we very rarely have to fill up a tank. If we're just drilling like this, we can get a good 2 days out of a full tank there, which is, when it's doing full long, kind of between 12 and 16 hour days, can't really fault that. At this stage as well, I am currently looking into, or I'm in the process of setting up a new, setting up a whole new series. It's going to be something that I haven't done before, a little bit different, just to try and, you know, make it interesting more than anything else. And it should be something that I think would be quite good actually. There's a lot of quality machinery out there that we can use, so it's something that, and it's also on top of that a lot of awfully great maps, so do keep an eye out for that. I'm not sure which day it's going to come out on yet. It's probably going to come on a Monday, I think, actually. So we will probably change that around. Not this Monday, because I still haven't quite got everything set up how I would like it, but it will be coming out very shortly, so do keep an eye out for that one. It's surely should be very interesting, I do believe. And I'll fill you in more once I I'm happy with how it's all going. Alright then guys, I'm just going to crack on with the rest of this drilling here, get these beans in the ground and get everything finished up. It's going to be a little bit of a slow field, this one, because of the whacking great hill. But thank you very much for watching as always. I really do appreciate it. If you have liked what you've seen, then don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I have been Simulation for the Nation. You've been fantastic as always for watching and sticking along. Do leave any comments, questions or feedback you may have below there, and I'll look forward to reading that. Until next time, thank you very much as always, and we will see you again in the near future. But for now, stay safe, enjoy what you're doing, but most importantly, happy farming.